Hello and welcome to Genre Busters. It's Monday on the AppSpy and Pocket Gamer stream, and that means that we are going to be picking a genre to wing our way through. We pick a bunch of games that we believe to be the best examples of that genre. We show them to you, give them a bit of a play, show them if you haven't seen them before, you can have a little look and say, oh, or if you're familiar with the games and you just be like, I like that one, I don't like this one. And we'll play through 4 or 5, and then at the end of it, if there are enough people there, we all have a bit of a vote, and we can decide which is the best of that particular genre. Today, that genre is tower defense. My name's James Gilmore, AppSpy editor. Below me is a newcomer to the Twitch stream. It's Alex.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm taking Peter's place, which feels a bit strange.
He has supplanted our regular Peter Willington because Peter is currently internationally disposed. He's winging his way around Barcelona at this very moment, and that means he can't be here right now. He will return later in the week, but as I've said before, the people will change on the stream. Because we're AppSpy and Pocket Gamer, we've got this kind of big crew of people who will occasionally pop on and do some stuff with us over the course of the day. Alex writes for AppSpy. A lot of the reviews that you read if you're an AppSpy regular are written by him. And the videos that are produced as well are also produced by him. We will both sort of share responsibilities for that sort of thing. So you probably know him better than you think you do. You may have just never seen his face or his lovely Turtle Beach headphones before.
They just associate your voice with me, I think, is the confusing
Is that
part
the confusing thing? So narrated by and written by, and yeah, so that's where the confusion is. So if you move your mouth and I talk for you, that'll be the correct representation, and will look like a bad Korean dub of a movie or something like that. Yeah. Right, so let's do some tower defensey stuff. Have some people here, even Caffeine Dreamer, who's in the stream. He's the guy who was regulating our chat feed for us. So if you've got any questions, throw them at him. He'll answer them. And also Alex will be looking at the chat room as well and relaying questions back to me and just talking about them in general. So get involved, have a chat, ask away, and tell me what you think are the best games that we're playing. First game of today, what shall we start with? So I'm going to fire up this one. The fun thing about doing this is you can often tell what game I'm about to play when the audio kicks in. We like to keep a little air of mystery by not revealing the game immediately. In fact, I'm just about to turn the TV on so I can hear the audio. Bear with me. There we go. Lovely. So, are you a tower defense fan, Alex, or not so much? Is this your genre of choice?
No, I've dabbled.
Okay.
I think I've dabbled in quite a few of the games we've got up to date,
right?
Which I think probably goes to how they have transcended the genre as a whole, maybe. And
I see,
maybe half a dozen more, but not the vast quantity that are out there.
Okay, right. Well, this first one we're going to start playing today, it's actually the one I'm least familiar with, but I understand you have played it a bit more. You may be able to tell what it is by the music in the background. But first game of the day is going to be, let me just drop this for the dramatic reveal. Pull down the placeholder. Where's it gone? Navigating all this stuff is always so much fun. There we go, perfect. And, whabam, first one of the day is going to be Field Runners 2. Okay, this is one of the older tower defense games that have been approached, isn't it? This was around for a fair while at the beginning of the App Store, wasn't it? It was
yeah, I kind of remember the first one being what kicked it off. Like, even tower defense for me as a genre. I mean, I know it was around before that, but it was the first one that I was aware of.
Right.
It probably says more about me than it does about the genre.
Well, it's what I'd call a classic tower defense game, and it does have some of the more old-fashioned tropes, because when I started like getting interested in tower defense, more so than just the Plants vs Zombies or one where they're constantly funneling towards you in lanes, you know how that works. That has a bit of this in it as well. The way that this one works is you've got in this match I'm playing right now, they're being funneled down a pathway. So you've got a little pathway, and if you're not familiar with the genre, I mean, I assume most people watching are, but if you're not familiar, you have to erect towers in order to stop advancing forces from reaching your base at one side of the map. That's pretty much as simple as it is. So as you can see, they're entering from the left-hand side of the screen here, and I've thrown up a few towers which fire little guns. I'm just dropping a new one down there now. And as they approach the towers, they start firing automatically, and they cut people down on their way to your base. That's how it works. Yeah. This is more classic in the way that it's sending them out pretty much like funneling down a little line, aren't they?
Yeah, this feels different to the first one. I mean, that was fun where you kind of direct the way people went.
Yeah.
Like you kind of funneled them, whereas this seems like they're on far more of a track, which I again, I think I played more of the first Field Runners than the second one. It seems like a bit of a departure.
From what I understand, that does happen here. Like I say, I've played this one a little bit less than the other games I've talked about today. But this one does have more of that in it later on. So what you mean by saying that is perhaps there's an empty square, and you kind of erect your towers. Whoa, there's a lot of people here. You erect your towers in such a way that it actually funnels them down. You create like a little maze using your turrets. And basically, instead of them being able to walk in a straight line, they have to do this, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. And what that does is it means they have to take a much longer path to get to your base. And in doing so, it gives your guns much more time to blow them to pieces. And that's how this one works. So as you can see right now, we've got instead of ground troops like on foot, we've now got a whole bunch of motorcycle squaddies bearing down on us. I've been erecting the standard kind of turrets, which just launch minigun style bullets at them, but also there is a glue turret, which I'm going to throw in another one right here.
Classic military strategy.
Exactly, the old glue gun, World War II, full of glue guns, as we all remember, which just lobs a bit of this substance at them, and as you can see, it's hit that dude and he starts running a little bit slower, so it slows down people it comes into contact with, which again is much better for the longer time they spend running by your gun in slow motion, the more time they have to suck up the bullets and eventually get killed, which is fantastic. You do have the ability in this game, as well as building the towers themselves, you can go in and upgrade them. If I tap on one of these towers, it shows you the radius, the little green circle going around the edge there, and also gives me the ability to upgrade. So you can see a little arrow with the $4 thing. If I just hit that, it now upgrades, and you can see there's now a little extra turret sitting on top of it, which makes it kind of badass. Unfortunately, we now have tanks moving in on our location, which is a little bit worrying.
I don't think glue's going to stop them, James. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Heavier artillery we need. What have you got for us?
Well, okay, we do have a missile launcher thingy. I'm going to wait in about a second. I'm going to be able to get another $1, and that extra $1 will allow me to buy one of these rocket launcher doodads in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. It's grey at the moment, but come on, I'm going to speed things up because you can do that. There we go, bam, $10, and let's stick a rocket launcher in here. Oh, no, wait, drag it over. So you just put your finger and drag it, and there you go. A couple of rockets, and the guy's down. That is a result. We're only on round 11 of 50, so the waves are going to keep coming and coming and coming.
And this is why we're only doing 4 games today.
Exactly. Because if you try and cram, if you play them for like 5 minutes, then you just get no chance to see any of the game, frankly. I wasn't sold on tower defense at first, until I played, actually I'll show you one of the ones later on, really sort of sold me on the whole genre. Because I've been reading some stuff about it today, actually, in preparation for this, and there are a lot of people who don't get on with tower defense, primarily because they say it's boring.
Okay, that seems... Every game genre surely can have that leveled at it if you're looking at it on a kind of broader scale, though, right?
True, I'd agree.
I
think the thing with this is because you are essentially, for a lot of it, you can be a bit static. So, for example, I'm sitting here now. I think I've thrown up enough things at the moment. I've got enough towers defending me right now. So essentially I can hit the fast forward button, just like that, and then you sort of sit back and watch as it all plays out. I'll upgrade a few things, but some people say, well, I'm just kind of sitting here watching people troll towards me, and that's kind of dull. But I mean, I would suggest they've only probably played the first bit of a tower defense game and then decided this is boring and switched it off. Because
you do find yourself sucked into a kind of false sense of security when you're doing that as well, though.
Yes.
And like you hit like turn 10 and suddenly a whole swarm suddenly worked out how to get past you, and there's nothing you can do because you've been paying no attention.
Precisely.
So,
that's exactly how I feel. Once you get to a certain point, if you just press fast forward and they'll suddenly come, like now, suddenly helicopters have appeared from the side of the screen. And they're flying straight over towards my base in a straight line, meaning all of the lovely little funneling I've been doing is for nothing. And this one, you see, he's nearly at my base. He's going to get taken down, so it's okay, but he got a bit close for comfort there. So if you just kind of go, oh, it's fine, then you are going to probably die quite quickly. And that's only 17 out of 50 rounds. So you do actually have to stay a little bit switched on. I've got someone in the chat room here saying, like, is it just a throwback Monday? It's not a throwback thing. What we do is we pick a genre every Monday. It's called Genre Busters, that's what we're calling this show. And every Monday we'll pick a genre or subgenre, and we'll choose 4 or 5 games from that subgenre and show you what we think are the best examples of it. And depending on your experience with mobile gaming, that'll either be a nice little refresher of games you know and love, and you can throw your vote in. Or, if you've not really experienced a lot of these games, we're showing you these are the best games available on the App Store. So we always put the little notifications in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. We tell you the title, we give you the prices, and there are also, if Caffeine Dreamer's in a good mood, he chucks in the links to the game as well, so we can show you where to get them, and reviews of the game on both AppSpy and Pocket Gamer. So essentially it's like a top 5 that you can use as a kind of buying sample thing. Or it might just be a flashback.
Yeah, it's almost like a history of, considering the games I know we've got coming up today. It kind of spans quite a long range of the genre as a whole. I think the last one we're going to touch on is like 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's about right. So
because it's a popular genre on the App Store because, and that's another element about having it on iOS or on Android or something like that, this genre works so well on touchscreens. The reason it's been a success on mobile the way it has is because it plays to the strengths of the devices. Like the ability to push on a troop member and drag him onto the screen and place stuff exactly where you want it is even more intuitive than using a mouse. And so when you do them on iPad or on iPhone, it's just like it's perfect for touchscreen play. And that's why we kind of love them on here. And that's one of the reasons they're ever so popular.
And the waves, you can just kind of stop mid-game and be like, okay, I'll come back to that in a bit, and I won't have lost where I am.
Yeah.
So I always used to play like on the train, and end up panicking because you've missed your stop for that.
Because you're still playing through waves and waves and waves.
Yeah.
So this one is one of the more classic ones. It's doing the army theme. You'll see a lot of different themes over the next few games we play as well. But this is a kind of, like, I would almost say like a vanilla game. It's like classic, it's soldiers, it's old-fashioned guns, and it mixes both the funneling ability of going around these little tracks and the ability to create your own mazes in other games. And certainly, like Alex said, the first game, Field Runners, just vanilla one, it was much more based around creating little mazes in an open, empty screen. Oh, hello, look at this. See, I've casually been talking to you, and as a result, 3 people have got into my base because I wasn't paying attention.
I should be picking up more of the flak and letting you play. That's the real moral of this story.
No, it's okay. Well, what I'll do is I need to now upgrade some turrets, first of all. Bam, bam, bam. Let me turn the fast forward off. I'm going to upgrade all these turrets. I've got so much money I don't know what to do with it, because I was just chatting to you guys. Let me drag a couple more glue things on. Put one up there, put one up there. Let's stick another machine gun up there. I'll stick a rocket launcher here, and another machine gun here, and here. Yeah, that'll do the trick. Upgrade that one, upgrade that one, upgrade that one, upgrade that one, and press fast forward and see what happens there.
It is that wonderfully satisfying moment where you realise that you have been overwhelmed, but you have all the money that you could possibly need to stop it. Like,
yes, I totally wasn't paying attention. And now, oh, the glory. Look at that. Look at them getting mullered. Oh, so satisfying. I love it. Yeah. And those are the rewarding bits of it, like you say. You just throw a bunch of cash at it, and now all these guys are getting creamed. Delicious. Alright then, so that gives you a good idea of how Field Runners works and how tower defense games work in general. So Field Runners 2, we consider that to be one of the stronger tower defense games on iPhone and on Android if you're playing it, and iPad and all that stuff. So if you are interested and you're not familiar with the genre, you can pick up a version of this. You can also pick up a free version of Field Runners 2. So if you want to try it out, that's the way to do it, and it does give you a good idea of how the game works.
It's a really good starting point for tower defense as a whole if you haven't played it before as well, because it is straightforward compared to the others, and it's
totally.
Like the ones we're going to be looking at later just get really confusing, I thought.
They get a bit more complex, they really do. So that's the first one for today. I'm going to throw the placeholder up and drag that back down. So everyone make a note, because as I say, at the end of this we're going to do a little vote and see what we believe to be the best of all the games that we show today. So I'm going to fire up this next one, and you are totally going to recognise what this one is based on the sound effects, like almost without a doubt. Let me find the actual little throw thing here. Here we go. Some of these I fired up for the first time today, and it's still doing me that. Do you want to push notifications? No. iOS, no. I never want to push notifications. Why would I ever want that? I'm doing things, and I'm on a phone call, and suddenly something pops up and tells me that I've got so many gold coins, and I just don't care. Really.
I still occasionally hit the wrong button when I start that up on new apps, and I'll be like at some point I'll be doing a video and then it'll come up at the top, but something's happened, and it's like, oh no, it's that 10-minute ruin.
Something terrible has happened.
Something terrible's happened, but it's
right. Let me just input my name here, and we'll give you the first one. Can you guess what it is already by the music? Some people must be so familiar with this. We're going to dive straight into this very first one. Oh, what's it going to be? Oh. There it is.
Yeah.
Bam! It had to be, of course, at some point during the stream. It's Plants vs Zombies.
How could you not?
Exactly. Now, that's, you know, pretty much a given, I realise at this point. But, come on. Whether it's on the PC version or the mobile version, it is sort of a classic game for a reason. Like the previous game we just played, you're tapping on the little creatures at the top, the little plants floating around, drag them onto the strip of lawn we have here, and then zombies will come along and you're shooting them down. In the case of this game, the power-up, the thing that you're getting as currency, is actually these little sun balls, sun beams almost, aren't they?
Yeah, I always just thought of them as sunlight, but I suppose some balls works.
It works for you. Yeah, I'm getting a funny crackle on your mic there, Alex. I don't know where that's coming. Do you want to either maybe try unplug and plug it back in?
Yeah.
Perhaps something like that. Sure. The classic fix for any kind of audio.
At some point, that's going to make everything try and reset to the laptop mic. So
all right. Well, if that works, that works. We don't mind. As long as we can hear you without crackling. Now, this is just the first level of the game, and so many people are going to be familiar with this game. I mean, there's no way you haven't heard of Plants vs Zombies at this point, I suspect. So,
am I still crackling?
You are still crackling a bit, I'm afraid. I don't know whether that's an internet thing or what.
Oh, I hope not. That would be awkward. Okay, I'll try doing this the long way around.
Okay, you go for that.
One moment. Sorry, guys.
Not at all. In the meantime, we have gloriously completed the first level, and now there's a whole lot more zombies waiting to come and kick my ass. The reason this game is so popular, and I've never been, I mean, some people are saying right now, like, oh god, the Plants vs Zombies is really boring and slow. Like, I sort of thought that at first. When I initially saw the game, I didn't really see the appeal. And I thought it was just like, oh, it's a bit, you just tap and it's kind of slow, and you're like, yeah, alright, waiting for these things to recharge, and then what happened was I got locked in with it, basically, on a flight. I was flying somewhere for some kind of trip, and I had the iPad with me. I was like, oh, right, I'll play Plants vs. Zombies, fine. Sat down and played the entire thing over the course of the flight. Like, literally the whole thing. And it worked really, really well, frankly. And I got sort of hooked. And that was it for me. I was like, yep, actually, I understand the hype behind the game. It also serves as a very good entry level, like the first game that we played today. It does serve as a very good way to show you what the genre's all about in a nice, simple, bog-standard way. Look, here comes a zombie creeping onto the screen. How are we doing mic-wise, Alex?
You're going to have to tell me.
You are fixed. You are absolutely fixed.
Okay, that's good.
That's what we want to hit. We always get issues doing live stuff, but that's live streaming for you, isn't it? So we have zombies very slowly shambling towards me. I'm putting in the sunflowers. The sunflowers give me more of that power up. So the more sunflowers I plant, the more of the little things fall from the top of the sky. And now I've got to very quickly, put a plant down there. I haven't been paying attention, so that zombie's going to come down and munch me horribly. He's munching the plant already. Look, oh, it's terrible.
It's the humour that keeps it going, though.
Yes.
Nothing. You just want to protect your little sunflowers.
No, I completely agree. Unfortunately, this one's going to get munched because, like I say, totally wasn't paying attention. But it really does keep you going through it. Like, the zombies themselves are very charismatic. The plants, they're all, jumping and bopping, and there's a really sweet animation to it. And the other thing that you can't ignore, PopCap do this stuff really well. Like, when it comes to this, or whether it comes to Peggle, the other insanely popular games, they do this kind of pick-up-and-play Twitch gaming so well. They're insanely popular for a reason.
I think the biggest kind of endorsement I can give it is that it's the one series my mum will play is Bookworm, which is them as well, which is like...
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you know about games because they are so kind of pick-up-and-playable, digestible that they're good for everyone.
And it can be very kind of cool to, like, hate on this stuff. And I too get sick of games that are, when they enter the public consciousness, when they become really, really mainstream, there's a tendency to go, yeah, that game, whatever, Plants vs. Zombies, fuck's sake. But they did get that way for a reason, generally. unless it's a Simpsons tapped out, which can just do one because it's rubbish.
Oh,
These games did come to the fore based on the fact that they have a very, very compulsive and very entertaining little gameplay loop. They're popular for a reason, and that reason is they are genuinely fun. They're genuinely playable. And I really thoroughly enjoy playing it. This is only the first level. Like I say, we have to fire up all these, most of these from the beginning, because my iPad is constantly at a state of fullness. I can't keep any games and keep any progress on our account, so I'm having to constantly delete them.
It's a real shame, because it's what makes the amount of different plant varieties you have, and even the later levels where they start like mixing with the level, so you don't necessarily always have contact with them when they're on the other side of the house and things.
Yeah.
It really changes the way everything plays.
Absolutely. We've just got a new one there, which is the cherry bomb, which I'll save up a few of those so we can show you what it looks like. I mean, chances are a lot of people in this stream are well familiar with this game already. But there was no way you can include a tower defense roundup without including Plants vs Zombies. It's just insane. So I'm going to start off by just throwing some flowers down. I don't usually do them in a straight line. The sunflowers. I tend to zigzag them. But that's not a good strategy. It's just because I like the look of it. Pretty much it, really. That's my reasoning behind the whole thing.
When tower defense turns to interior decoration.
Exactly. You're like, do I put it here or do I put it here? Oh, I'm not sure what looks best. So yeah, it's purely aesthetic. But obviously it winds up doing the trick in the end. So 3 sunflowers. Let's get another beam of light down so I can get another fiery plant out there. There we go. Stick him there. Lovely. Should have stuck him in the middle, actually, because there's another dude just approaching from the middle. What a bastard. Now, the other thing to talk about regarding Plants vs. Zombies is the sequel. The controversial Plants vs. Zombies 2, which went from a premium game to a free-to-play game.
I was going to say, I thought you meant the team-based shooter, but okay. Yes.
No, not that one, but yeah, that too. Let's put one of these bombs in here just to show you what it looks like. Oh, of course, I forgot. That's the one you actually have to put in a proximity. You have to put it near one of them. I will blow up a zombie in a minute then. Yeah, so this game was a huge success. 69p or £1.99, depending whether you're buying it for the iPhone or the iPad. Everybody loved it. Went on for years and years of people playing it. Fantastic stuff. The problem was that when they released the sequel, they decided to make it free to play, which initially seemed fine as a free-to-play game. Like you're playing through, you're watching it, you're like, this is good. I'm playing a lot. It's not doing anything too cynical or cruel yet. I'm just gonna get munched once again. And then you got to the end of the first level, right? You got to the end of the first stage of the game, and you went, okay, I want to move to the next world now. And it went, no, turn around and play those levels again until you've grinded out enough stars to get to the next bit, or pay to unlock the next level.
Oh.
And I went, oh, really? Must we do this? This is rubbish. They did, like you say, like Gaprilla says, they did actually change that later on. So initially, it was worse than it currently is. They've tweaked it slightly so that you don't have to do quite so much grinding. But you do find that with a lot of free-to-play stuff. They release it, especially in soft launch. A lot of things are being released in soft launch nowadays. Let's blow this guy up just to show you what it looks like. Kaboom! And now he's reduced to brilliant sooty dust. That's very satisfying.
Sooty zombie.
Exactly. They tend to release things in soft launch to test out the IAPs, and then generally they make them very expensive, or they make the thing grind heavy at first, and then they pull it back a bit based on people complaining. They never kind of make it generous and then make it worse. They tend to always start off with it being really expensive.
That's a cynical view, James, based on people complaining.
It is. It's based on feedback.
Yes, okay.
But that's basically people saying, like we are, complaining that they can't get through the game. And then when they do get the feedback, they tweak it and they change it. Same thing with Real Racing 3. Real Racing 3 was released with some really, really nasty grind and app purchases, and they just cut some of them completely. They reduced the prices of a lot of them, and they cut some out altogether based on the fact that people went, come on, I'm not playing this. This is rubbish. So the voices can be heard. There will be an influence from people who get in and start complaining. I've now got a fair few plants up, and we're doing quite well. Everything is working perfectly. We'll call this a day on Plants vs Zombies. We don't need to play this one too much because you all know Plants vs Zombies at this point, don't you? But like I say, it is a quality tower defense game. And one of the things that helped popularize the entire genre on iPhone and iPad. So it cannot be ignored, however familiar we are with it. So there you go.
It's quite a long time to get to that bowling level that I love so much as well.
Yeah, I know. We're not going to make it there in the meantime. So Plants vs Zombies, that's the very first one we'll do. That's the first Plants vs Zombies game we'll play today, and the only one. So make a note of those two. We've got Field Runners 2 and Plants vs Zombies. They're our first two. Now, next one. Oh, what to choose? Oh, we'll start with this one. I was playing this just to get through the tutorial today, because tutorials in this game are quite big. Now, I did mention that there is one game out of all these that really, really sucks your battery life. This is that game. And for a pretty good reason, too. Let me show you it, how it all works. Unfortunately, we do have to wait for it to load a little bit. I try and get rid of the loading screens as much as I can on these, because no one wants to watch that. But let's carry on. Again, you may be able to hear what it is. Let's dive straight in. Oh, voiceover and everything now. Gruff voiceover.
Looks like people have already guessed what it is, James.
Oh, really? Oh, has the cover been blown? All right, then. We shall pull it down. So, if you recognise that loading screen...
JTB1 getting it just quickly off the bat.
Yeah, nice. Let's have a look. Tap to continue. Come on, you bugger. Oh, would you look at that? Colonel Ellen Bolt. It's Anomaly 2. We're going to skip past this little intro sequence because we know the score. It's showing us the map view of the world, which is kind of cool. So you can actually go through this game at the very beginning of it. So this is a change. Already we're changing from the standard tower defense we've seen so far. So what we have to do is we can choose the route which our people take through the towers, because this time we are the advancing army. Technically, this is a tower offense game, not a tower defense game. That's the difference. And you could argue like it doesn't belong in the tower defense genre, but it kind of does. It is a tower defense game, but the only difference is you're playing it from the other side, and that was the big change in this one. The first game, which was called Anomaly Warzone Earth, was very sweet, very tight. And then the second game that was booted up was Anomaly Korea, which was kind of a version of the same thing with a few extra levels. This was the first proper sequel, and as you can see, these are the VR levels right at the very beginning. It's a really good-looking game. It gets even more impressive when the real-world environments appear. Now, the difference is for this game, for a start, you're advancing, so you're controlling these mech tank things, and they're blasting away at these little drones. One thing you can do, I don't know if you can immediately do it in the sim world, no you can't. You're able to morph the characters here, in this case these two tanks, and turn them into alternative features. So they're kind of like little transformers. And
okay,
each
I can get behind that.
I know, right? That's exactly what you want to hear. Each different one of these characters, they have two modes. So in this case, you get a tank, and then the other mode is kind of a walking mech with two arms going do-do-do. And each one has their own speciality. So these turret things, they're very good in a straight line. They blast at whatever's ahead and a bit to the side. Whereas the mechs, which they turn into, they're very good at firing out directly to the side of them. So if there are other turrets that are concealed behind objects that you can only get them at close range, morph them into the other mech, and they will be able to make short work of them, and that's kind of badass. So here you go, that's the Assault Hound, which is kicking the arse out of everything.
I'd assume there are bigger trade-offs in that equation, because it sounds like I'd be stomping around as the mech the whole time.
Well, the mech is only really works at short range. So if you need to take out people that are ahead of you, the mech is kind of no good. So right now it's going to show you how to morph into the mech. So I'm double tapping, and as you can see, both of my dudes have now morphed into the mech. And because, it's called a Hellhound in this case, because these two guys are concealed behind the buildings, now you'll see they'll walk straight into them, and they're kind of shooting this plasma flame out either side of them, which A, looks really badass, and B, is very effective at people who are concealed over a short range. And that's kind of awesome. Now this does suck the life on your battery quite hard, as we mentioned earlier. And when we say we'll just fire through this mission and hopefully it'll go to a standard mission next.
Were you fully charged coming into this? I guess
I was. I really was. I made sure I was fully charged. So now we can move to the next bit. Oh, hello. The virtual reality is going haywire because I think we're being attacked in real life. There is an actual campaign. They do try and do a proper sort of story mode to this. You can see the colonel at the bottom of the screen talking to me and all that. I can skip past the text. There is also a fast forward button in the bottom corner where I can skip past text. I need to now change my tactics and change my route. So as you can see here, it gives me the option to change my route to what will be the path of least resistance. So I can either go down to the left, which will take me through a bunch of people who I'll need to use the short-range weapon on, or if I go down to the right, I can use the close-range weapon to take out these 4 in a line. It kind of depends, but because our destination has changed, I think we're probably going to go down here. That'll be a little, I reckon, a bit better. Yes, we'll do that. We can now close that and carry on with our mission. Unfortunately, I think I've been battered down because I wasn't paying attention again. I wasn't dropping repair drones. In this game, you need to power up your guys, in this case my little mech walker doodads, by using repair drones. You kind of tap the repair icon on the left-hand side of the screen, and then you plant it onto the ground in front of your mech, and it creates a zone of healing. When they walk through that zone, they got all powered up. That's the way that works. So as you can see, there's an energy bar on the side of this guy. He's probably not going to be able to defeat everyone, because there's only one of them now, as I wasn't paying attention. But we should be able to get him through to the end of the mission in one piece. I'm hoping. We'll soon find out. Right, repair drone, here we go. I'm tapping it down. As you can see, as he's walking through it, he's getting recharged. That's lovely.
I'm sat here reading the chat, and so far there's some talk about Anomaly, and then everybody else is talking about my beard. So
really, your beard has commandeered the chat.
Well, I've got not commandeered. There's a few comments about it.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I've got two-tone.
Your mighty white at the bottom there, and
yeah, what's going on with that guy's beard? I believe was what started it. So.
Yeah, I think that's clearly just some kind of jealousy. To be fair, when I had hair, and I talk about this subject with the amount of annoyance and self-pity that it deserves, I had two-tone hair. At the front it was kind of whitish, and then at the back it went much more blonde. Not that you'd know now, of course, with my beautiful, smooth... oh, hello, quick. Oh, repair man! Phew, that's what I get for paying attention to the camera, not paying attention to the game.
Sorry.
No, not your fault, my fault. Luckily, I've been able to get this guy through in one piece. There you go. Now, as you destroy towers, as I was able to do there, they will explode and leave little power-ups. So, for example, you'll be able to buy extra repairs, like I just did there. Don't need them now. I just collected them, and the Colonel is happy with me, which makes my life a lot easier. As with most tower defense games, you do have a speed up button in the bottom right hand corner, so you can press it. That's great. Mission accomplished. Let's go to currency exchange. It's our next mission. We're sticking with casual just to fire through this stuff pretty quickly. And you're right, we don't have previous save files. Because of the way that we review games, we don't all have different accounts. There tends to be one master account that we use. And I have to constantly keep deleting games because we're playing like tens of games a day. And so we have to keep deleting them, and we don't have cloud saves for all of them. So as a result, whenever we boot up these old ones, we're kind of back to square one, which is a bit of a pain. But for the sake of this, we're just showing you what they look like and giving you an idea of how the game's handled. And obviously, if you do want to see more of the game, then you can click on the reviews that are being placed into the chat room. So what we have is a video review that I did for AppSpy. There's also a normal written review for Pocket Gamer, both of which give it, I think they give it an 8. I think probably I gave it a low 5 out of 5, so it was about an 8 or a 9. And it was an absolute cracker. I really enjoyed this one. So what you can do here is buy some units. In this case, I need to buy this here Assault Hound. There you go, double tap that, and I can buy another one. I've got a bit of money. I can only select the 2 of them. I can hit back here. There's our map once again. And I can use these points to choose which direction I want to take. So I'm probably going to say... that's alright, I'll go this way. I'll just change direction just for the sake of it, because I feel fickle. And we shall launch them onto the screen now. Because this guy's behind a corner, I'm going to double tap them and morph into the walking tech dudes, mech guys, and both of them, they'll be able to blow the crap out of this guy and kill him, and hopefully he'll leave a little weapon drop, maybe for us? Yeah, there's a repair, we need that. Now, I think unfortunately they've decided to drag a vehicle to change its formation. So what you can do now is I can put this one over here if I want to, or that one back over there. So at the moment we're putting them this way, and it puts him at the top, and therefore the one who has got more health is now at the front of the pack, and so he can soak up some of the bullets, which is kind of useful. So he can go there. I'm going to keep things, I'll keep them transformed into this particular setup at the moment, and I do have a repair drone here if I need to use it, which I probably will do in a second or two. fact, I'll throw it up there now. There we go. They walk through the zone of healing and are now back up to full health and able to mow this guy down. I'm now going to hold the fast forward button just to speed things up a bit. But as you say, it can take a little while. If I remember correctly, these VR missions suddenly stop because we're getting attacked by real things in the real world.
Look on the bright side, it's probably saving your battery.
Quite possibly, yes. The lassie is telling me something. I need to open up the squad once again and then tap on a unit, and I can now upgrade the units just like I did before in Field Runners. So I'm going to tap that, tap it twice, boom, I've been upgraded, which is awesome. So I can now head back into the battle, and this one behind me has now been upgraded. So I'm also going to move the troops around so my upgraded dude is in front, just so he gets to the bad guys first. I'm tapping on those little glowing orbs as well. That allows me to shoot them and collect them up and get some more power cubey things, which are always helpful. So have you played this one at all, Alex, or is this one of the ones you're less familiar with?
I played some of Anomaly 2.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think I ever got to 3.
Well, 3's not out. Well,
Anomaly 1, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Well, it's weird because technically there's been 3 Anomaly games even though this is Anomaly 2. So there was Anomaly Warzone Earth, the first one. Then there was Anomaly Korea, which was like 1.5 because it was the same game but it had some extra missions in it. And then finally at the end we had Anomaly 2, which is what we're playing now. The third game, which has been announced and is coming, is reversing it, so it's back to being a tower defense game.
Okay.
Which is weird, because the one thing that made this quite unique was that it was tower offense at the beginning. It was taking the tower defense formula and turning it on its head. And this new game is pretty much going to just make it a normal tower defense game. So we were like, oh, alright, I guess. I'm sure it'll be good, because these games are very well made, and the studio, 11-bit Studios, are very good at making them. But I thought it was a shame because you're losing that element that made it a bit more unique, you know.
Someone there probably has a plan. That's what I like to hope in this situation.
You mean at the studio they've got a plan?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a game designer, so I can only assume they know what they're doing. And like I say, I bet you it will be really good. But I was just sort of... It's like taking away the unique IP, in my opinion, the thing that made it stand out from the crowd, separate it from the other games that we've been playing today, you know. But, like I say, I bet it will be really good. Let me change my mission route here, so I can pick my path of least... Now, you're going to encounter some really, really big bastards this time. Some proper, massive creatures. Let's go, I guess, this way. And this way. If I can, I think this path, this path, this path, and then all the way up there. I think that's probably the best way to do it. And then as you can see here, there's no really good way through here. Down like that. Yeah, I think that's probably the safest route. Path of least resistance. Fantastic. Let's do this.
Work out a good breakthrough. Let's get on it.
I've got 4 tanks this time, and I'm going to keep them in tank mode for the time being. That's kind of satisfying. We haven't done much tanking so far. And here, look, here's the massive thing.
Right.
The Colonel's telling me about it. What I can do is they give me a new power now. I've got the ability to repair my objects. I've also got the ability to place decoys. I'm going to do that now. I've just placed the decoy, and what it does is it distracts the turret. So the turret's now turned around to fire on the decoy while my tanks are laying into it. And that's proved quite successful, because now it's down to 1/4 of its health, and it hasn't even got a shot off yet. And now it's dead. So that's another tactical thing that you can use to put yourself in better standing in these kind of fights. Crikey, what's that? Says Caffeine Dreamer. Yeah. So yeah, as it says here, it draws fire from towers within a certain range, and it will continue to do so until it's either discharged, it kind of wears down the power of it after a while, or it gets horribly blown up. Now I'm about to enter a kind of bottleneck where there are craft either side of me blocked by buildings. So we transform into our mech formation, and out come the plasma. Right, I'm going to repair this guy now to make sure that the guy in front doesn't die horribly. I picked up another decoy here and another repair. That's brilliant. He's going to push through. Yeah, this is going alright. So going according to plan so far. That's what we like to see.
They look like something out of Mech Warrior. I love them.
I like the mechs as well. I think they're kind of badass. Now, ideally, I would have changed to tank a little bit sooner here. That was my fault for not doing so. And by doing that, I've not paid attention, and one of my guys has been destroyed. So I was too busy transforming. However, we can make it through with 3 without too much trouble. I should really have used one of those distracty, avoidy things on it. But I was too busy transforming people. So, let's go back into tank mode. Actually, we'll have one tank up front. In fact, yes, keep him up front. So that we can blast the big guy. And I'm also going to transform these 2 dudes back into the dual plasma-wielding mech characters to deal with these guys on the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to lob a decoy in to distract this big bugger now. So you'll now see him turning around. Oh, quick, repair, repair. There we go. So he's been distracted for a little bit while we stomp in and mash him up, which is going quite well. Now let's do another repair drone there. Make sure they stay alive. Oh, we're making good progress here. Reducing them to rubble in a very satisfying way. And so it's quite nice to juggle these games with the other one, because it's the other side of the coin. You know, it's the flip side of what we were doing before. And it gives you an appreciation for all the armies you decimated in the past. Playing all those tower defense games, this is what it feels like to be on the other side. And it's kind of cool. Ah, good, another repair drone. I could do with powering up my first guy.
The end of your training is coming up.
Excellent, alright.
I think everybody's just looking forward to seeing the pretty graphics.
Oh, when it suddenly switches into thing. Yeah, the tutorial is nearly over. So here we go. The world has exploded, the virtual world has been done in, and we're now going to go into proper, to like a full game mode, like you say. Okay, mission aborted, because it's all going down. It's on, as they say. Mission 4, fish in a barrel. Now we're talking.
Machines ambushed convoy Yukon on the outskirts of New York.
Let's pause for breath and drink. Right, here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry about the slightly lengthy tutorial, but don't worry, we're continuing on so that we can feature the next game as well. And here you go, this is more like it. This is why the game sucks battery. Because it looks phenomenally good. It is a pretty direct port of the PC game. These games were originally created on PC. And everyone was a little bit curious to see whether it would be able to be playable on something like an iPhone or an iPad. Oh, you're a popular man. You got
all the phones are going. This is quite bizarre.
All the phones. Excellent. All right then. So now we've got different troops. You can see here. If I pull up my squad, these things right here, the sledgehammer. So this is an entirely different creature from the troops that we were using before, which are now ploughing forward and dealing with, as you can see, a real-world environment. Look at it! Look, isn't it brilliant? It's well gorgeous. It is the real world that's been invaded by aliens, in case you weren't sure. Because in some cases, let me double tap and see, they can't be transformed yet, these troops. They haven't gained the ability to do so. But we're about to pick up a straggler, as you can see here. Let me fast forward so I can shoot him round.
Quite impressed with the alien speed of building bases. I mean, this is meant to be your home, right?
I know. So we opened up the window one morning and oh look! An entire invaded alien colony. Who knew? Right, so we've picked up the sergeant, and now we're all drifting forward to take out some dudes. Let's go and see what's ahead. One of them big buggers. Oh, quick, repair! There we are, lovely. And look at this great big pulsating alien tendril thingy. And now they're just appearing out of nowhere. The bastards. However, we're pushing forward pretty well. Keep an eye on the credits that we've got so that we can eventually do some upgrading. That's always important. Where have we got? Let's see if we can upgrade anything yet. Not enough points. Those other two guys at the back can't morph, but my man up front, the guy I've just picked up, he does have the ability to transform like we were doing in the VR bit. And it's true, like you were saying about the frame rate is pretty sweet. Like, I'm running it on an iPad 4, this is. So it's not the newest, it's not the iPad Air. But even then, it handles itself pretty well. Like, there's a little bit of stuttering when things get really, really busy, but that's not entirely surprising. We're now transforming all of them, including the sledgehammers. They've got two new kind of walky... They're almost like crab-like creatures, those ones. They walk on all fours, which is sort of badass. And they do all have different properties, obviously. So let's fire him up. Let's get him moving Oh dear.
Oh
Oh dear. A massive amount of people have suddenly turned up. This is worrying. Okay, so yes, when the party transforms, things get much more fun. But as with the previous VR mission, transforming generally means it goes from like a long-range weapon, like gun, to a short-range kind of plasma thing or flame weapon or something like that. In this case, it's launching missiles. Those two walkers at the back, they lob short-range missiles at the dudes, and that helps us out very nicely indeed. You like that?
You're pointing out that crabs don't walk on all fours, James.
Yeah, well, shut up. All right then. It looks like an ape or something. Okay.
Fair enough.
You know what I meant. Finicky bunch. Right. Oh, it's another decoy thing, which I could use. No, use a decoy just for the larks. So here we go. I plant a decoy in the middle, and because of the radius, it distracts all of those towers right there. Although crap, a bunch more have appeared, including one of the big ones. Alarming. So the real incentive here is to not just get past the towers, but destroy as many as possible, because when you destroy them, they drop the power-ups. And you're going to need those power-ups, especially the repair power-ups, in order to make it through to the end. So if you only kind of graze a few of the towers going by, you're going to wind up at the end of the level unable to repair yourself, and you're just going to die before you hit your goal. So the incentive is to destroy as much stuff as humanly possible. Quick repair. Okay, we are taking serious damage. The shouty man is telling the truth. Okay, we're doing okay though. We're doing alright. I'm going to transform this guy now, because I want long range, so they can shoot these artillery dudes from afar. See that? They're all now blowing that guy away from quite a way away. There you go. A couple of tasty shots there from the artillery. Did the job beautifully. Nice. Yeah, it's all falling into place now.
Caffeine Dream's got your back here. He's telling you to keep shooting everybody.
Oh, good.
Good. Yeah, shoot everything.
That is
Apparently
solid
that's
advice.
a tactic.
I cannot argue with that. The tactical wisdom of a Caffeine Dreamer there.
Yeah.
He's got it nailed. Right,
It's a sound tactic in most games.
Yes. So I'm going to transform. Let me see. I think I'm going to keep these guys doing the distance thing, and I'm going to distract this huge bugger, because he causes a lot of pain and I don't want him to. So I'm just going to pop a decoy here, and now as you can see, those guys are turning to face him, which means I can get up a few shots and take him out immediately without too much hassle. Nice. I'm going to also repair the first two, so I'm dropping a repair drone. Oh, that's a decoy. Whoops. That was the wrong thing to do. Luckily, they're not shooting me. They're shooting the decoy. So it's doing its job. Picked up a couple more power-ups. Lovely. I think I can fast forward through this bit, can I? Yeah. Taking both of those guys out. And we're pushing forward. Oh no, more buggers have appeared, and they're behind cover. So quickly, transform everyone. I'm double tapping every guy there so I can transform, and away he goes. And now I'm using the decoy and the repair as well. So while he's distracted, I can use my short-range weapons, missiles and plasma flame thing, and take this guy out. Which is lovely.
Seems better equipped than your average transformer, so that's good to go, right?
Yeah, and also less obnoxious, which I find helpful. I went to see Godzilla yesterday at the IMAX.
At the IMAX, okay, that must add an extra dimension to it.
Well, if you're going to do Godzilla, it kind of has to be IMAX or whatever they call it, ArcLight or something in the US, or just go home. There's no real reason to watch it on a little tiny screen, because he has to kind of roar and have the screen shake. But I keep seeing the advert for the new Transformers movie, and
oh yeah,
I'm not a fan of those films because Michael Bay, really, because they're sort of dreck. But especially this new one, it looks so unbelievably, miserably violent. Like, and obviously they're all violent, right? And that's fine in a comic book way. But let us not forget that this is a children's toy. This was a toy that you used to play with when you were like 10 or 12, and this new, let's go that way and that way. This new movie that they've got, it looks like it has this really cruel, malicious overtone to it. Like, really nasty. Like we're going to execute your whole family and guns to your children's faces, and it's like, is this pitched at 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds? This seems horrible, isn't it? But apparently that's what everybody wants.
I haven't seen that. I just saw the one where Optimus turned back into like the flat-faced truck, and that made me happy. And apparently apparently there's more to it than that.
Possibly, yeah. But no, I just sort of looked at him and went, oh, this is... I've never liked the franchise because he doesn't do it well. But it's so unbelievably like... And I'm down with violence. I'm a huge horror movie fan, so I'm all for the ridiculous violence. But in a horror movie, or in a movie that's not based on a children's toy, like, I would laugh if they did the My Little Pony movie. And it was just like, My Little Pony, fucking lock and load, ba-bam! Pinkie Pie gets it in the face from an M16. Like, and that would be the same... Oddly, it would be the same sort of principle.
Is Pinkie Pie an actual My Little Pony?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I live with someone who is, without any irony, a My Little Pony fan. My partner, I should say, my girlfriend. Rather than, like, another friend. But no, she likes it, and not in a kind of ironic postmodern sort of way. No, she just really likes it. So I'm aware of more My Little Pony stuff than I would possibly care to admit, just through osmosis. And
I feel like the only one I think I might know is Rainbow Bright, but somebody told me that was a Care Bear.
Rainbow Bright's an entirely other cartoon from the 80s.
Is it Care Bear then, or I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But someone's saying like Transformers being turned into family-friendly action, like. If you're doing a kid's toy, isn't it supposed to be family-friendly action? Isn't it supposed to be something you show your kids? Which I would want to do with, like, the way the new trailer's framed is, like, so squarely aimed at 20-something guys who want to see, like, brutalization with guns in your daughter's mouth sort of thing.
Again, I haven't seen this trailer, but I do remember the first animated, like, Transformers movie, going to see that at the cinema and watching Ironhide get full-on shot in the face by Megatron at point-blank range, being like, that's pretty dark.
Actually, and obviously the notorious thing, which is the original animated movie, which was the death of Optimus Prime, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because they needed to launch the new toy collection, and that was the problem. And all the kids went, and like started weeping and bawling in the cinema because they needed to sell Mark II Autobots or whatever.
Yeah, they're not very good ones.
No,
Blur and Cup.
Finally.
Precisely. So anyway, Anomaly 2, the actual game that we're playing, that gives you a pretty idea of what it looks like. Firstly, it's a really, really gorgeous thing. The campaign, single-player campaign, is very big. It's an expansive game, originally released for PC and has appeared on iPad with pretty much nothing cut out. It is really impressive. I think I don't know if it's actually available for iPhone as well. I think it might be a bit too hardcore for it. But I'm sure it would be playable now, especially on the new ones. But because of the size of the screen and the orientation, I'm not sure whether they did it or not. I can't remember. I mean, look at this cutscene. This isn't a cutscene. This is in-game graphics. So as you can see, it's a phenomenally good-looking thing. It plays really well on later iPads. It will not play well on earlier ones.
It's a universal app, so I guess it's
there you go.
good to go.
It can be played on iPhones as well as iPads, so that's great news. But be warned, don't try and play it. If you try and play it on an iPhone 4, it's going to chug hard. And it's probably not worth, on anything less than an iPhone S, don't even try it. And even on an iPhone 4S, like, it's not going to run great. But if you've got an iPad 3 or up, or an iPhone 5 or up, definitely grab this if you're in the market for something like a bit tower defense and a bit free play. Because it is lovely.
If you're not travelling a long way, because your battery's going to eat it.
Yes, it is going to eat it. Actually, we'll kill this now and we'll show you the very last game that we're going to play today. Let me see. Yes, and I'm down from 100% to 56% now from playing that game for like 15 minutes. That's what it does. Anyway, we're going to fire up the last game, which, whilst not as like graphically intensive as the previous game, perhaps, is possibly my favourite of all of them. I just think this game was phenomenal. It's got character, and it nails the mechanics of it, like the way in which you control your troops, the way in which the campaign advances, and the way in which the upgrade trees happen on all the different units. It nailed it to perfection. And if you have any interest in tower defense games, and you know there's obviously a big game that we haven't mentioned yet, so I'm going to skip the tutorial instructions, because I don't need no tutorial instructions, because... Let me grab it. We're playing Kingdom Rush 2. Oh, yes.
I feel like you ripped that out just before everybody else beat you to it.
Oh, really? It's good. They can hear it. They know it's coming. Come on. It's Kingdom Rush, for crying out loud. We've got to do it. Let's slap an archery point in there. Boom. Let us slap... have another archery point there, because we're up front. And we're going to do a defensive one here. How much? So, sending some troops to the ground. And here as well. Start battle. Right then. This game's awesome. like unquestionably awesome. Got a new enemy there, tapping. So what this does well, as you can see, this isn't fully 3D drama like the last game we were playing. This is a very different, simple art style. But that doesn't mean it's like a more lo-fi or less complex game. This game is like destroyed both mine and one of my friends, close friends, 3 times, so much that they've played through the entire campaign on both of them like 2 or 3 times in all the difficulty modes, because it is that impressive. Now, if you call reinforcements, or if you call the enemies in earlier, you get a better boost to your powers and stuff. So I'm going to tap on the road and launch a power. A couple of enemy dudes have turned up now. Reinforcements have been added. This is excellent. So like the normal tower defense games we've been playing just now, I'm tapping on an area where I can build something and I can lay some troops down. Double tap on the little shield icon, that's ground troops. If I were to tap on the archery things, obviously that's an archer. There's also a magic one, which is the little wand thing you can see, the scepter, and 125 there is a bomb unit as well. Now I've deliberately double tapped on those skull icons on the far right hand side of the screen because that says the enemies are coming, and if you leave it they'll come of their own accord, of course, but if you double tap them early, that means you get more of a boost, you get more of a kind of coin bonus for doing so. It does also mean that your weaponry has less time to recover and you have less time to build stuff and prepare for the next wave, so it's kind of a payoff, trade-off between the two things. However, we're doing pretty well, so I'm going to foolhardily invite the next guys in. Now, a hero has appeared from my side. The hero characters, this dude here, Ulrich, obviously incredibly powerful dudes who can kick ass. More power-ups, so I can just lob an extra 2 people in. And this dude will, Ulrich, will defend my main gate. So if anyone does make it through all the little towers, then he'll be at the end to kind of bat everybody away, which is badass. Now, have you played this one, Alex?
No, I was going to. This is like the one of the 3 that I know least about, which, given everybody's love of it in the chat, I feel I wasn't going to mention.
Absolutely. So now we're at a point where we've pretty much got most of the area occupied, and we're doing pretty well, but we've got some coin. So first thing to do is, now these areas have been locked, as you can see. What I can do is I can either sell it or get a refund. I'm not able at the moment. I would want to power them up, really. I'd want to upgrade them, but at the moment that's not possible because it's currently a locked option because we're only in the first mission or so. You can sell them if you want to, but I don't need to do that. Tapping on a new enemy, that tells me about the enemies that we're attacking, what they can do and their powers, and also you get hints as well about some, for example, the armoured enemies, where armour of different strengths protects them against non-magical attacks. So it's a good idea to get a magic tower in there, which I'm going to do right now, just to flesh it out. And also I'll put a bomb tower up here to show you what it looks like. So here's a bomb tower right at the top of the screen. Kaboom! Now, one of the things that makes this game so good is it doesn't sell itself, like I say, on big flashy 3D graphics or anything like that. It's charm and charisma. The art style is lovely. The little enemies are animated really well. They kind of bob along and very perky and chirpy. The little sound effects that you get, the incidental sound effects, there's a lot of little pop culture references as well. You'll get a couple of the guys who attack you and they like make Star Wars. There's one like a Tusken Raider kind of looking guy, makes it sound a little bit like that. Just a few little touches and attentions to detail that make it really, really fun to play, really entertaining and really playable.
I was going to ask, because I mean, coming off the back of Anomaly, this seems
lo-fi, doesn't it?
Lo-fi, yes.
Yeah.
In a nice way, but in, kind of more manageable. But at the same time, it's like you've got the choice between the two. Everybody seems, well, a lot of people seem to be thinking this is the way to go of the two. But
yeah, well, I mean, I've got to say I'm inclined to agree. This, for me, was the one that, like, amongst other games, this really, really sold me on tower defense. This is the game that you're like, yep. It became immediately playable. It's accessible in that way that it's easy to pick up, but it gets devilishly hard towards the end. Even towards the middle, it gets really, really challenging. The first game, Kingdom Rush, this is the sequel, was released and it became this huge success that no one really expected. No one anticipated that it would be as successful as it was. And so even like the developers were really taken aback at the fact that it suddenly kind of blew up. And that's what resulted in the sequel. And the sequel itself didn't do too much different. It upgraded a few things, and it was kind of more of the same, but in a more polished and slightly expanded sort of way. And itself, it's the game we're playing now. It's really, really good. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I reviewed it strongly. Again, you'll be able to see the full video review on AppSpy and Pocket Gamer. There'll be links in the chat window.
Yep, they're up there already.
Yeah, if you want to check them out, there they are. And it totally won me over. So there you go. You're presented with the world map. I can buy upgrades now for each of my individual things. You've got nice expansive upgrade trees, like I was mentioning earlier. So a steady hand. I got how many stars? 3 stars. I can improve my archery there. That's probably a good idea. Let's sort out the defensive stance. Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll increase our artillery attack range as well. Done. Beautiful. Let's move on to the next mission. To battle. So it's got a quick, it's accessible, it's charming, it's got loads of character, and it's got loads of polish. And all of these things just like make it just a complete winner in my book. So I tend to stick a bunch of archers at the very front. And then we have some ground troops here to block the way. We'll put him there. How much money you got left? And put an artillery there, because you get a nice big long range on him, because they'll come from both angles in the end. I know I've fleshed out the right-hand side, but they will come from there. You mark my words. Artillery here. Another. That's enough for the time being. Start battle. That's all we can afford. Here we go. They're coming, marching from the left-hand side to kick ass, and already my archers are launching into them, along with the artillery. Very, very useful. And then if they make it past that, they'll have to contend with my ground troops, which they will not take down. The bastards.
You shall not pass it.
No, exactly. You shall.
Yeah. You need a magician for that, though, I believe.
Well, that'll be that. Magicians come later. Don't you worry.
Okay.
In fact, how much are they? 100. We're nearly there. We kill a few more dudes. Obviously, by killing dudes, that's how you get coins, and the coins you then use to buy more towers and upgrade the towers you already have. Which hopefully you can do in this level. I'm not sure, you could do it in the level before they hadn't introduced that mechanic. But seriously though, if you are in any way interested in the whole, there you go, Mage Tower, in the whole tower defense thing, you can't go wrong with any of the games we've played today, but kind of this is my personal favourite. This is the one that really, really works. And it's not because it's flashy or anything like that, it's just because it's unbelievably playable. And it's one of the games I would keep coming back to. It's one of the games actually that, because you review a lot of games when you're here, and Alex, you're reviewing at least like 1 game a day for the site, and so you end up playing a lot of games. And sometimes you review them, you play them through, and you're like, right, done with that, put it aside, moving on, because you're sick and tired of it, or whatever. This is the game that I come back to. This is the game where I play through and I review it, and then I carry on playing, because it's badass. And
it's the one that doesn't get deleted.
Yes, exactly. Because like I try and hold on to it for as long as I can. I'll always find some app which demands like 5 gig, where I'm like, oh, for God's sake, I have to delete everything. But this one hung around on my iPad for a long time because it's just so good. Right, they're starting to make an advance. They're starting to make it a little bit too close for comfort, in my opinion. So I'm going to drop some ground troops right here. Double tap that. That's good. I'm going to stick another archer up here because we've already got some troop dudes there. That's nice. Now let's see if the upgrades are available. Oh, they will be. We now have the option to upgrade. Let's wait to get some more cash. Now they're attacking me from both sides. You can see bottom corners of the screen we're getting a 2-pronged attack. I think that's military terminology. That's what they say, isn't it? I'm not sure. I was never much of a tactician. I think for a lot of people, tower defense is a way into the strategy genre.
Yeah, and they're nicely accessible to just start you up and put everything down. It's all kind of like lay it out, and you don't have to. Yeah, I'm not explaining this very well, am I?
Well, no, you're right, because the way that it works with strategy games, they can be quite intimidating. If you've never played one before, then you find yourself faced with a whole lot of commands and a whole lot of things that you have to manage all at once, and they can be a little bit daunting. What this does is it sorts out your enemy movements. You don't have to direct enemies to different places or conquer entire globes or anything. It's just, it focuses your attention on this strip, this little area, and gives you a gradual build-up towards teaching you the mechanics and how to, there you go, got an extra tip here, strategy basics, towards how to build up new items and how best to defend against weaker enemies, and then the difficulty gradually increases. But for a lot of people, it is a way to kind of teach you the bare-bone basics of how to play strategy games, how to manage an increasingly large number of troops instead of just one single hero or something like that. Right, we've got little. I'm going to upgrade my barracks here because these wolf rider thingies are bastards. So I've upgraded both of them to try and take them on, because they run too fast for the archers, you see. They're already scooting past all the archers, and you need to have ground troops to deal with them. The magic guys are also quite good as well to this. But you'll find that some troops are weak against certain towers, and others obviously have stronger. So you have to match the right offensive capabilities to the right enemy. Otherwise, it all falls apart.
I guess they're my half step, the tower defense games when I play them, between turn-based strategy, which I really enjoy,
right,
and the kind of real-time strategy, which I always kind of struggle with as
Oh,
it
really?
comes through. There's just always a bit too much going on. Whereas with tower defense, like you say, you've got that kind of funnel that you can focus on rather than having to deal with this kind of massive world map.
Yeah.
I always kind of like to imagine myself an amazing strategist. I'm just not. So.
Most of us would like to pretend we are amazing. But yeah, I'm not so impressed. Right, I've got my little hero dude who is just sitting back at the moment. I could sort of bring him forward a little bit. He's just dancing back now. Come this way, man. Get involved. Now these guys have pushed through the ranks a little bit. Go on, attack. There he is, getting into nice mano-a-mano combat. We're still doing pretty well. There we go. I can now advance both these guys, get a little 8-point bonus, and I think it's time to start more upgrades. So we're going to upgrade the sorcery tower. There we go. A couple more coins and we'll upgrade this one. Just a second. Here it comes. There we are. Upgrade that one as well. So now they've all got little helmets on, which previously they didn't have, so they're much more sturdy units. Looking lovely. Doing well, doing well.
Yeah.
Could do
Styling with their helmets.
I know, well styling,
Yeah.
right? You've been upgraded. You need to be upgraded now. I'm upgrading the other one. And we're going to build another bunch of troops, I'm going to say. Get more ground troops out there. Just for larks. I also have a few powers I can use. I haven't even used them yet, but there are reinforcements I can call in. So I'll just drop some reinforcements, these ring girls, to kind of halt those galloping wyvern beasts where they are. And now I'm going to launch some fireballs.
Right,
Nice.
okay. Where do the fireballs come from? Is this just
They come from the sky, Alex.
Brilliant.
They come
Brilliant.
raining from the sky. It's great. And again, very satisfying to use. See, a lot of these wyverns are running past me because they are speedy bastards. But, no, my artillery just dealt with them brilliantly. And I can now... There you go, daring. I got an achievement for activating the next wave so soon. Because I am that much of a baller.
That remains to be seen.
Have faith, Alex. It's all going according to plan. I now have a bunch of cash, and I filled up all the things, so let's make sure everything's upgraded to the very max. You're not upgraded. Get you upgraded. Lovely. There we are. Ooh, the artillery hasn't been upgraded. Brilliant. And I've now got an achievement as a constructor for doing all the upgrades. There we are.
When I was saying before that it's that step between being overwhelmed and not, looking at this, I might go back on that. This might be overwhelming.
Oh, really? Well, the little attack beasties, they can cause a bit of trouble. But this guy's just hammering away at these folks. He's just out of the range of the... There you go, much better. Just out of range of the other guys. Victory! 3-star victory, no less.
Nice.
There you go. So that's Kingdom Rush Frontiers. A personal favourite of mine, but just generally a brilliant tower defence game. So, now's the time then, people. You've seen all 4 games in action. I'm going to push us back to the screen here. I'm going to remove this just for the sake of making everything nice and neutral. So you got Field Runners 2, you got Anomaly 2, Frontiers, which we just played there, and Plants vs Zombies HD. So, we've got a few hundred people kicking around. Vote. If you've played these games before and you know the score, then put your favourite one in the chat window. If you want to, if you've never played them before ever, just based on what you've seen, put down the one that you think you're going to get. If you were going to go for one, that'll be the favourite. And what we'll do is we'll give you about 60 seconds or so from when you hear me voice saying this. And you can just throw some votes in there. We've already started seeing votes coming in already. Throw your votes into the window and we will declare the winner. And we're keeping a record of all these, incidentally. Last week we did the most punishing platformers. So we had like things, what did we have? We had Mikey Hooks, and we had Rayman Fiesta Run, and a bunch of other ones. In the end, Rayman Fiesta Run took it, which I was very pleased with.
I was happy with that as well.
Because it's a great game. And we've made a note of that. And this week we're doing the tower defense games, and we'll make a note of which one is the winner. And then we can create kind of a master list of what we believe to be the best games from each genre, or more importantly, what you, the AppSpy and Pocket Gamer Twitch viewers, believe to be the best games from every one. So it'll be your crowdsourced champions of mobile gaming. So that's what we're after here. So
This is
at the moment, we've got a lot of
very
people.
close.
It's between Kingdom Rush and Anomaly 2. And
yeah.
Plants
There's a
vs.
couple
Zombies.
for Plants vs Zombies, but not enough to sway it.
It's oh, this is interesting. Someone did mention Balloon Tower Defense game. It is a good one, but it's one I don't have a lot of experience with at all. I did have a look at it, and I know that it's highly regarded. And unfortunately, we're only doing 4 because, I mean, we could have made this 10, really. But if we did, we'd be here for 3 hours. So we had to go with the ones that both the sites that we've been looking after, the one that our reviewers have liked the most, and also the ones that we personally have liked the most. So don't worry, we do know that there are other good games out there, but we just chose the 4 select ones that we think are the best. And even trying to get through them within an hour was nearby impossible. So we've already run over. But right, how's it looking at the moment? We'll give you a little bit more time for the votes, and then we'll tally everything up and see who has won. I should get a pen to make some proper adjudication on this sort of thing. So let me make my things here. So field runners. I'm making notes right now on the top of a box of tissues because I'm a pro.
It's starting to get confusing. People are having discussions about it, so I'm seeing the same names come up more than once, and it's really throwing off.
I'm looking at checks for field runners. Not an awful lot. Someone saying vote Thatcher. I'm afraid you're about 15 years, 20 years too late for that, but good to know. Also, Get Out, because Thatcher sucks. Okay, so how are we doing for anomalies? And then... Okay. Now we're looking for the Kingdom Rush.
Like it might be a draw.
Really?
I might have missed one.
I don't know. I think it's leaning towards 1. Let's see. 2 for the... Oh, exciting. Okay, right. We're calling it a close there.
Good thing this isn't radio, because that wouldn't have been thrilling.
I know, right? It's just me umming and ahhing over things, but there is also... It might be a draw, actually. Oh, dear.
Oh!
Is it?
Wait,
is it, though?
No, wait. I don't...
And the last 2 at the bottom. Oh, no. There's one more that's pushed it in.
Is there?
It has now been closed. Yes.
Who?
There's one more. If I'm doing my maths right, because someone said Frontiers, and Frontiers is Kingdom Rush.
Okay.
At the very bottom there. Now the voting has been closed.
Ah.
You see?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that pushes it over the edge. Although it's very, very, very close. Caffeine Dream is right. I don't think it's a draw either.
No, you're right.
I think, if my crappy tally is right, that we have a glorious victory for Frontiers HD.
Yes.
Kingdom Rush Frontiers, which, in my opinion, again, is the correct answer. Well done, people. Like with Rayman last week, that is my favourite one for the thing. So look at this. Look at the charm on this. So everyone who's played this before, good on you and well voted. Look, a little bantha in the top from Star Wars. Look, it's a little bantha. Look at him, munching away, chewing some cud. Oh, what a dude. I've just decided to start this game and invite people to charge in immediately, which is the worst thing I could possibly do. But I was overexcited, so I thought I'd get everybody involved. Yeah, look at him. Go on, launch some people and have some bombs and some things. Oh, look at this. This game is awesome. If you've not got it yet, you can go back and get the first one. It is not something where you don't have to. You could start with the sequel, but they're both kind of brilliant. I'm just going to launch fireballs at this guy to stop the fact that these guys are charging straight towards me. I haven't lobbed down enough troops because I wasn't thinking straight. You can start the first one, or you can dive straight in at the sequel. There is absolutely no harm in doing that. But, my hero's going to get mugged now. They're all going to get mugged, but it doesn't matter because it's one, and it's the best. Outstanding. Well, the victory has been won fairly, and the votes were tallied and everything's in agreement. So, well played, guys, and thanks for sticking with us through this feed. That was the Genre Busters Best Tower Defense Games from Pocket Gamer and AppSpy. I've been James Gilmore, and below me was Alex. Thank you for joining me today, Alex.
My pleasure. It's been fun.
The first Twitch debut, you and your beard.
Yeah, me and my beard and my landlady who kept coming in and out a shot for everybody who was wondering who that was.
She's just trying to steal the limelight. That's what
yeah,
happened,
she was. That was what did it.
And to Caffeine Dreamer, as always, for joining us and moderating the chat and everything. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Join us again same time tomorrow for another show from the Pocket Gamer and App Spy Twitch stream. Take it easy, one and all. Bye-bye.